What's up, everybody? Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com, 2:05 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, October 21st. Let's talk some Week 8 college football, starting with tonight. I like the Charlotte 49ers +7 at home against Willie Taggart's FAU squad. So I got it at +7 yesterday. The line has dropped to +6.5. So if you're going to tell me on this one, I suggest you buy that half point to the key number of 7. This is the 5th time Charlotte has been a home underdog during Will Healy's 3-year tenure. They have won outright in all 4 previous home underdog situations. The 49ers are 4-2 straight up, 4-1-1 against the spread. They are undefeated at home this year, 3-0, both straight up and against the spread, whereas FAU is 0-3 straight up, 1-2 against the spread in 3 road assignments. The Owls have lost by margins of 21, 24, and 17. Now, granted, some of those were non-conference and, tough competition, but nonetheless, it is what it is. 0-3 straight up, 1-2 against the spread, all 3 L's by 17 points or more. Chris Reynolds, a Charlotte quarterback, he has completed 65.3% of his passes, 1,318 yards, 15-3 TDINT ratio on the year, 11-1 TDINT in the last 4 games. I'm also getting a small taste of Charlotte on the money line at +220. In terms of other games, I think it's tomorrow night. I'm giving some thought to Colorado State -3.5. But I wanted to go to 3. And my accounts are making me pay like -135, which I think is a little too steep. So I'm keeping an eye on that one. Maybe check my Twitter tomorrow at Vegas B. Edwards, and I'll have some thoughts there. Let's go to Saturday. I like Minnesota -5 against Maryland. I also like the Gophers -3 in the first half. Maryland got off to a 4-0 start, but the win over West Virginia has not aged well. They trailed at Illinois most of the game, got some fortunate turnovers, and were able to win on a walk-off field goal, 20-17 at Illinois. Another win was against Howard, and another one was a non-conference Group of 5. I want to say it was a MAC team. They beat Kent State. So since then, they've lost 51-14 at home to Iowa, 66-17 at Ohio State. But most importantly, they lost their best player, Dante Demas, the star wide receiver, who before this season-ending injury, I think a lot of the Kuipers and McShays had him tagged as a potential late first-round pick. He's out for the season. Another starting receiver, Jashawn Jones, just went down in the Ohio State game. He had 18 catches for 224 yards. And Darrell Nachami, forgive me if that pronouns is inaccurate, he went down with a season-ending injury as well against the Buckeyes. He had 3 sacks and 1 forced fumble. So the Terps have taken a hit personnel-wise, and that 4-0 start was pretty fraudulent, which was known at the time. But anywho, the Gophers, they have won 4 of their last 5, including a win at Purdue. That win is aging well with Purdue blasting Iowa in Iowa City last week. They covered for us last week. We had them against Nebraska, 30-23 home win. So we're on the Gophers. Let's also go to Ruston, Louisiana, where undefeated teams have their dreams go to die sometimes. UTSA, still undefeated, but playing its 8th game in the last 8 weeks. And the Roadrunners, their last 2 on the road, they only won by 6 at Western Kentucky. They won by 3 at Memphis, had to come back from down 21 to the Tigers at the Liberty Bowl. Okay, La Tech is only 2-4, but this is the best 2-4 we've ever seen out of a Conference USA squad. They had a 34-14 lead at Mississippi State in the 4th quarter, lost 35-34. Led SMU, still undefeated SMU, most of the game, and SMU hit like a 55, 60-yard Hail Mary on the game's final play to win 39-37. La Tech also played NC State tough, where Clemson lost. La Tech only lost by 7 at NC State, and they never trailed by more than 14 in that game. And Skip Holtz 3-1 against the spread his last 4 as a home underdog. This line also is at 6.5 like Charlotte, so buy that half point to 7, and don't be surprised if the Bulldogs get the outright upset. Okay, some first half plays. Let's go Texas A&M, which has obviously caught fire here recently. They're minus 11.5 in the first half against South Carolina. Luke Doty out for the season, so the grad assistant Zeb Nolan is back in to make his 4th start of the year, but his first since he got his hand stepped on in that loss at Georgia. And look, Nolan's not really a downgrade. He was playing pretty good. I mean, yeah, he was playing pretty good. Not great, but anywho. But A&M's on fire. And here, South Carolina's 3 road assignments. They were at East Carolina. They were down 14-0 with like 2 minutes left in the first half. East Carolina was on the fringe of field goal range in South Carolina's territory. And South Carolina got like a 55, 60-yard pick 6. And so they trailed by 7 at halftime, but they were lucky to trail by 7 at halftime. Their other road game at Georgia trailed 26-6 in Athens at halftime. And 2 weeks ago, South Carolina trailed 38-7 at halftime against the Vols at Neyland. So South Carolina in their 3 road assignments have not looked good. Should have been down by at least 14, or could have been down by at least 14 in all of them. And obviously A&M is a way more quality opponent than ECU, the Pirates. No disrespect to the Pirates, but Texas A&M minus 11.5 in the first half. I'm not against A&M like minus 19.5 or 20 for the game. I'm not against that. I just prefer the first half play. Okay, lots of varying reports out of Knoxville. Look, this Tennessee team is playing well, but the catalyst in them playing well is Hendon Hooker, who obviously got hurt there in the final minute. It's obviously a major downgrade to go to Joe Milton, who showed the awareness of a 4th grader on that last play against Ole Miss last week. Talking to some people I know in Knoxville, which is quite a few, it sounds like Hooker's on track to play. I don't think he would be 100% though. So here's where I'm going with this. Alabama in the first half. I played it at minus 14 this morning, but that was before I thought that Hooker has a legit chance of playing. So I would still play it at 14, but if Hooker's 100%, I don't love it by any means. If it's north of 14, and by the way, it was a minus 125 price on the minus 14 in the first half for Bama. If it's more than 14, and we continue to get reports that Hooker's playing, I would only play it for a little bit or just totally be off it. And I hate to throw so many parameters around a play. Again, I've already played it at 14. I'm not having buyer's remorse on it because I really don't think Hooker can be 100%. And their best O-lineman, Cade Mays, he's doubtful. Tyon Evans, their best running back, Heupel has called him, Hooker, and Mays the best O-lineman. He's called them all day-to-day all week. I don't think Mays is going to play. I didn't think Hooker was going to play, but now I'm starting to think that from what I've been hearing from people up there. And I think Evans has got a pretty good shot at playing. He did not play against Ole Miss. So, again, I'm already on Alabama minus 14 in the first half. And so I don't have buyer's remorse on it, but I would be hesitant to lay more than 14 if we find out that Evans and Hooker are on track to play. Because if Milton's playing instead of Hooker, it's going to get ugly in a hurry at Bryant-Denny in T-Town. I'm Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. Also like the Pats minus 7 at home against the Jets. Jets on the road, no bueno. Mac Jones playing well. They're ready. They're ready for a get-right game. They won 25-6 in the Meadowlands in week 2, and they've lost some heartbreakers to the Cowgirls in overtime, to the Bucks by 2, to the Dolphins by 1. It looks like a get-right game for Belichick, Mac Jones, and the Pats. Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com, over and out.